Today we're talking about teacher Jiang, who found his students facing injustice instead of just watching the drama unfold. The female supervisor warned teacher Jiang to stay out of it, reminding him he was just a new guy who could get bruited. Anxious, teacher Jiang made up a story about being a lawyer, silenced the supervisor, and rushed the unconscious girl to the hospital. Upon arrival, seeing her battered body, he called human rights organizations without hesitation, staring at the girl with a flood of thoughts. Clueless on how to explain, she was soon summoned to the principal's office, where misunderstanding was. The principal appeared concerned, but was secretly fishing for information, putting immense pressure on teacher. Teacher Jiang revealed the girl's whereabouts. Then a call after class made him anxious. Jiang asked to meet at a store. She pulled out a paper filled with nightmares. Shocking him, it turned out this so-called loving school was hiding a shocking secret. The principal's wrongdoings were routine, and the female supervisor was his lover, like something straight out of a drama. She tortured the girl as if the cops at the school gate were mistakenly playing bodyguards, which was mind-boggling. Teacher Jiang had an idea, realized he'd exposed the girl's location, and fled. As he prepared to return to school to find people, Jiang opened a cupboard only to hear the girl sobbing inside, breaking his heart. Thankfully, she hid inside and survived. To save them, Jiang decided to expose the school's deeds. Facing the camera, the girl felt a bit nervous, but thankfully teacher Jiang was there cheering her on, boosting her confidence. Soon, she opened up like a geyser, spilling the truth, leaving the man stunned. The door that hadn't been pushed open that night stirred painful memories, amplifying her guilt. The principal lured her into the office with a box of candy, and his devilish face caused her to cry once. The principal pulled out tape to bind her, and recalling that scene made the girl feel anxious as emotions flooded back. Jiang hurried over to comfort her. It was the only support she could offer. Jiang brought evidence to report it, but the attitude of the other party left her frustrated. It seemed like no one cared about her distress. She felt lost because she had just returned from the city hall, where everyone was passing the buck. Facing the woman's excuses, Jiang finally exploded and called the police, only to find that no one wanted to listen to her complaints. The woman didn't want to help, with an indifferent look, as if avoiding the trouble. Inside the so-called charitable school office, the director ruthlessly beat her boy, showing no mercy. Though he had already given in, the director kept hitting him, the sounds echoing like an eerie symphony in the hallway. The principal, however, was unfazed, as if saying this was just daily business, completely indifferent. Because having an incident here would ruin his floors. How absurd is that? The boy was beaten to the ground, unable to defend himself. Silence was his only company. The director, losing interest, prepared to get rid of him, and hearing the noise inside, teacher Jiang stood frozen outside the door. He tried to leave, but bumped into the director coming out, heartbroken at the sight of the boy's scars. He initially intended to retrieve his withheld salary, but now he couldn't turn a blind eye to these kids suffering. Teacher Jiang saved the boy and took him to the TV station, deciding to expose the truth once and for all. With the two by his side, the boy painfully recounted his and his brother's experiences, filled with helplessness. He recalled how kindly the director treated them, but it turned unsettling, as if he could foresee what was to come that night. Did everyone see that? He raised his voice, revealing his discontent. The dissatisfied looks prompted him to ask to see his brother, only to face the director's wrath. He desperately tried to get into the bathroom to save his brother, but only saw the director's indifferent kick. It wasn't until he was knocked unconscious that the director finally stopped. Awakening, all he felt was humiliation enveloping him. He looked around and realized his brother was missing, anxiously searching, faced with a train of discomfort. Just as he was starting to panic, the director suddenly grabbed his shoulder and coldly asked about his brother. Hearing the news about his brother lost control of his emotions, as the TV station happened to report their story at that moment. People began to take notice, forcing the police to act. Officer Jiang was getting ready. "What are you doing, man?" Someone complained. Rights once held in arrest now vanish, and wouldn't dare make a mistake again. Knowing he was wrong, yet sending his twin to take the fall for him was downright arrogant. "Hurry up," Give me a tip on how to court this out of trouble. Quick, find the patient. This guy's a reputed court doctor." The children's plight stirred a sensation, rallying people to support teacher Jiang. Yet upon learning about the opposing lawyer, his lips involuntarily twitched. The so-called special treatment was merely a routine. The lawyer's first case had to be a win. In Jiang's terrified eyes, the devil emerged with the brother. They denied the charges on the spot and played the victim, causing a chaotic uproar, throwing everything into disarray. It seemed the courtroom's influence had been bought, with even witnesses singing the same negative tune against them. Instead, Jiang hugged the nearby child tightly, not wanting her to hear the foul words being thrown around, feeling utterly shocked. Finally, as the recess was called, teacher Jiang breathed a sigh of relief, contemplating their next move. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.